Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. What if I told you that when a woman seems indifferent, pretending not to care, it's actually a sign she deeply cares, but is guarding her heart? This isn't about games or manipulation. It's a natural defense rooted in vulnerability and survival. It's a silent language many men miss, causing confusion and frustration. But what if understanding this could completely change how you connect with the women in your life? In this video, we're diving into the fascinating psychology behind why women often mask their true feelings and how the Stoic mindset can help you see beyond the surface. You'll discover the strength in stillness, the power in patience, and how mastering your emotions opens doors to authentic connection. So stick with me till the very end, because the insights you're about to gain aren't just for understanding others. They're for transforming your own emotional resilience and relationships. Ready to decode what really lies beneath that "I don't care" attitude? Let's uncover this mystery together. Number 1. Emotional self-protection and vulnerability. You've probably noticed that sometimes women seem like they don't care, brushing things off, acting distant, or shutting down emotions, even when it's clear they actually do. It's confusing, right? But here's the thing. This behavior often comes down to one powerful truth: emotional self-protection. When someone pretends not to care, they're often shielding themselves from feeling too vulnerable, from being exposed to pain or disappointment. It's a way to build an invisible fortress around their heart, a fortress designed to keep them safe in a world where feelings can be messy and risky. Now I want you to think about this with a Stoic mindset. Said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. What he's telling you, and what you can remind yourself, is that vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's a choice about how you respond to your emotions and to what others express. When women hide their true feelings, it's not because they don't have them. It's because they're afraid of what those feelings might lead to, maybe rejection or disappointment. It's a defense mechanism, a way to keep control when things feel uncertain or out of reach. Here, where it gets interesting for you. What if you could lean into your own discomfort with vulnerability? What if, instead of pushing feelings away or pretending not to care, you chose to face them with calm and clarity? That's the Stoic way. It means practicing emotional resilience, building a habit of observing your feelings without getting overwhelmed by them. When you see someone acting distant, don't just write it off as not caring. Instead, recognize that they're probably trying to protect themselves from pain, just like you might do in your own moments of fear or uncertainty. So how do you start? First, become curious about your own reactions. Next time you feel the urge to shut down or brush off an uncomfortable feeling, pause, breathe deeply. Remind yourself of Epictetus's wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your feelings are real, but they don't have to control you. You can choose to face them, understand them, and grow stronger because of them. Try this simple exercise. When you notice yourself or someone else pulling away emotionally, ask internally, what is the fear here? What am I or they trying to protect? Don't rush to judgment. Instead, approach it with gentle curiosity. This mindset helps you build empathy, not just for others but for yourself. It opens the door to authentic connection because you're no longer hiding behind walls or pretending not to care. The truth is, pretending not to care is exhausting. It drains your energy and keeps you from experiencing genuine intimacy. When you start practicing vulnerability, little by little, you begin to weaken those walls, not by tearing them down violently, but by carefully choosing to lower your defenses. This doesn't mean throwing yourself into every emotional storm blindly. It means developing the strength to face discomfort with calm, to allow yourself to care deeply without fear of being crushed by it. Here's one more thing to remember. Vulnerability requires courage. As Seneca said, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. So take small steps each day. When you feel yourself wanting to hide your true feelings or act indifferent, pause and ask, what would courage look like right now? Maybe it's sharing a thought honestly. Maybe it's sitting with a feeling instead of pushing it away. Maybe it's simply acknowledging, I do care, I'm vulnerable, and that's okay. By embracing this approach, you're not just understanding why women, or anyone, might pretend not to care, you're transforming your own relationship with vulnerability. You become someone who doesn't fear emotions but respects and manages them wisely. And that truly is the power of the Stoic mindset in action. So start today. Observe, breathe, question, and choose courage. The path to authentic connection and emotional strength is right there, waiting for you to take it. Number 2, fear of rejection or disappointment. Fear of rejection or disappointment is one of those silent currents running beneath so many of the walls women build around their feelings. It's not about coldness or indifference. It's about protection, a shield crafted from the instinct to guard what's fragile inside. You see, when someone cares deeply, the stakes feel enormous. To care means to be vulnerable, and vulnerability can feel like standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure if the ground will hold. The fear of falling, of being rejected or let down, is powerful. It makes people pretend not to care at all. But here's the thing, you don't have to let that fear decide your story. Taught us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. That means your reaction to rejection or disappointment isn't fixed. It's something you can train your mind to change. When you notice that flutter of anxiety, that voice whispering, what if they don't care back? Pause, breathe. Remind yourself that your worth isn't tethered to another's acceptance. This is the beginning of freedom. When you stop letting fear control how much you reveal, you start living with courage instead of caution. It's about changing the way you respond to potential rejection. Instead of retreating or pretending not to care, try shifting your mindset. Picture rejection as feedback, not a final verdict. It's information, a chance to understand more about yourself, others, and how to grow. The Stoics urge us to focus on what's within our control, and the only thing you truly control is your own reaction. So when the fear creeps in, practice leaning into it. Feel the discomfort, but don't let it silence you. Speak your truth, express your feelings, take that emotional risk. This is where real connection begins. Try this. When you catch yourself holding back because of fear, ask, what's the worst that could happen? Then, actively imagine yourself handling that worst-case scenario with calm and grace. You might find it's not as terrifying as you thought. The mind is powerful but also malleable. Training it to meet fear with curiosity instead of avoidance changes everything. Remember, caring deeply is not a weakness, it's a strength. And the courage to care, even when the outcome is uncertain, is what transforms relationships and builds trust. The next time you notice yourself or someone else pretending not to care, think about this fear quietly lurking underneath. Acknowledge it, face it, and use it as fuel to grow stronger inside. So don't let fear rob you of the chance to be authentic. Embrace the discomfort. Be brave enough to care openly, knowing that no matter the outcome, you are cultivating resilience and emotional wisdom. This is your path to a richer, fuller life, one where you no longer hide behind walls but instead walk forward with the steady confidence of a Stoic warrior. The choice is yours. Will you let fear dictate your actions, or will you meet it head-on and take your power back? Number 3, desire to maintain control over their feelings. When a woman pretends not to care, often what's really happening beneath the surface is a powerful desire to maintain control over her feelings. This isn't about playing games or being distant just for the sake of it. No, it's much deeper than that. It's about protecting herself from vulnerability, from the chaos that emotional exposure can sometimes bring. You see, emotions are like wild horses. They can carry us to places we don't want to go if we let them run unchecked. So when a woman holds back, it's her way of quietly reining in those horses, keeping her inner world calm and steady. This is something you can respect and even learn from. Imagine for a moment how freeing it would be to master your own emotional responses instead of being tossed around by every wave of feeling. The Stoics believed this deeply, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That strength comes from within, from the ability to observe your emotions without letting them control you. Women, like anyone else, instinctively crave this kind of mastery. When she seems like she doesn't care, she's often just practicing emotional self-discipline, trying to avoid the trap of losing herself in the intensity of her feelings. This desire to keep feelings in check is a survival skill as much as it is a choice. It's about maintaining dignity, not letting pain or disappointment dismantle her sense of self. And here's the thing, you can mirror this in your own life. Instead of rushing to fill emotional voids or reacting impulsively, learn to sit with your feelings, observe them, and hold space for them without letting them dictate your actions. This is not suppression, but wise control. You might find it challenging to hold back your own emotional responses at times, especially when you care deeply. But practicing this control, as Stoicism teaches, doesn't mean shutting down or becoming cold. It means engaging with life from a place of calm clarity. It means choosing your response instead of being dragged into reaction. You become the calm eye in the storm, and that's magnetic. Try this exercise. When you notice an intense emotion rising, whether it's frustration, excitement, or sadness, pause. Take a breath and ask yourself, is this feeling something I can control or change right now? Most times you'll realize that it's just a wave passing through. Watch it, acknowledge it, but don't let it sweep you away. This simple practice builds emotional resilience over time. So when you see a woman acting like she doesn't care, remember it might be less about her feelings and more about her guarding them fiercely. She's not distant because she's indifferent. She's distant because she's strong in a way that isn't loud or flashy. She's quietly mastering herself, and that's a lesson worth absorbing. Embrace this mindset. Work on your own emotional self-command. It will transform your relationships and your peace of mind. You don't have to pretend not to care, but you do need to care wisely. And that's where true strength, respect, and connection live. Number 4, testing emotional strength and patience. You know, when women pretend not to care, it's often not about pushing you away, but about quietly testing your emotional strength and patience. It's a subtle, almost silent challenge that invites you to show up, not just for her, but for yourself. Imagine this. Life is a constant flow of storms, moments when emotions swirl wildly and patience feels stretched thin. In those moments, a woman pulling back or acting indifferent is not a sign of disinterest, but a way of measuring how steady, how reliable, and how emotionally grounded you really are. She's looking to see if you can stay calm, composed, and present without the usual noise of panic or insecurity flooding in. Once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is exactly what you must embrace. Your strength isn't in grand gestures or loud proclamations, but in the quiet resilience to endure emotional tests with grace. So here's your call to action. Lean into discomfort instead of running from it. When she seems distant or like she's playing games, don't jump to conclusions or respond with frustration. Instead, pause, breathe, reflect on your own emotions without immediately reacting. This is your moment to practice the Stoic art of patience. It's about cultivating the ability to remain unmoved by the external waves and to respond from a place of steady inner calm. The real test is your ability to hold your ground without losing your mind. Think of patience not as waiting passively, but as an active stance, a daily workout for your emotional muscles. Practice slowing down your impulse to respond instantly. When you feel that urge to prove yourself, challenge that impulse. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can I be better, stronger, and more present? This simple shift rewires your brain and changes your dynamic entirely. You're no longer a reactive participant, but a deliberate force of calm and assurance. Remember, women aren't seeking perfection. They're seeking strength, not physical or loud strength, but the kind that emanates from emotional clarity and steadfastness. The kind of strength that reassures without words, that holds space without suffocating. It's a kind of confidence that doesn't seek to control, but to understand and endure. The Stoics teach us that emotions are fleeting clouds passing through the sky of the mind. If you learn to watch those clouds without chasing after them or trying to force them away, you become untouchable by turbulence. Try this practical exercise. When you sense her testing you, the quiet pullback or a seemingly indifferent tone, don't react immediately. Instead, silently remind yourself, this is a moment to practice patience and presence. Visualize yourself as a steady rock in a flowing river. The water might rush and swirl around you, but you don't move. You remain rooted. Then respond from that place of calm with kindness and consistency. Over time, this will not only build trust but also deepen attraction. This is your chance to transform how you engage with emotions and challenges in your relationship. Instead of fearing emotional tests, see them as opportunities to grow stronger, more patient, and more in control of your inner world. Remember Epictetus, wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So, harness this moment. Be the steady presence she's looking for, and watch how the dynamic between you shifts from doubt to trust, from testing to connection. Your patience and emotional strength aren't just traits. They are the foundation of a deeper, more meaningful bond. Step into that power. Number 5. Societal conditioning around expressing emotions. You've probably noticed how often women, and really people in general, hold back their true feelings, acting like they don't care when deep down, they actually do. One of the biggest reasons for this is societal conditioning around expressing emotions, that unspoken yet powerful set of rules telling us when and how it's acceptable to show what we really feel. This conditioning is like a silent script everyone learns growing up, shaping the way you and others respond emotionally. It can keep you locked in a cycle where vulnerability feels risky or even wrong, pushing you to hide your true emotions behind a mask of indifference. Think about it. From an early age, people around you may have praised you for being strong or stoic when you kept your feelings to yourself, while brushing off displays of emotion as too much or overreacting. This social programming teaches you to equate emotional restraint with strength. The Stoics understood this well. Once said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. What he meant is that how you handle your emotions is within your control, but only if you first recognize what's influencing your reactions in the first place. So here's your first challenge. Become aware of the scripts you've absorbed about emotions. Notice when you hold back because you think it, expect it, or when you tell yourself you shouldn't care too much. This isn't about blaming anyone or feeling stuck. It's about reclaiming your emotional agency. You have the power to choose how you express yourself and what you allow to influence your inner world. You don't have to pretend indifference just to fit a mold. Now, to move beyond this conditioning, start small. Practice naming your emotions honestly, even if just to yourself. It can feel strange at first because it goes against years of habit, but as Epictetus advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So, if you want to be someone who's genuine and open, you need to practice being that person in little ways. When you feel a twinge of irritation, sadness, or joy, acknowledge it quietly. Don't judge it, just observe. This builds emotional clarity and slowly breaks the hold of societal conditioning. Next, embrace moments of vulnerability when you feel safe. Share a thought or feeling with someone you trust, even if it's just a glimpse. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as weakness, but the Stoics saw it as strength, the courage to face yourself honestly. Each time you take this step, you weaken the invisible chains of societal expectation that tell you to pretend not to care. Finally, remember that caring deeply isn't a flaw, it's a profound strength. When women, or anyone, pretend not to care, it's often a shield, a defense mechanism shaped by those old conditioning patterns. But you don't have to live behind that shield. You can train your mind and heart to balance emotional honesty with stoic resilience. This balance will transform not just how you relate to others, but how you relate to yourself. You're not just learning to care more or less, you're learning to care wisely. So start today. Notice your emotional patterns, gently challenge the old rules, and step into the freedom that comes with embracing your true feelings without fear or shame. This is the essence of the Stoic mindset, mastery over your inner world, and in doing so, mastering your life. Thank you for watching and diving deep into why women sometimes pretend not to care when, in reality, they do. Remember, understanding this subtle dance isn't about guessing or controlling. It's about cultivating patience, empathy, and a stoic calm that strengthens every connection you have. If you found value in this video, don't just walk away. Take these insights and apply them. Watch your relationships transform as you approach them with clarity and emotional strength. And if you want more wisdom on mastering your mindset and navigating life with stoic confidence, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out. Your journey toward deeper understanding and emotional mastery is just beginning. Keep cultivating that inner calm and watch how everything around you shifts. Until next time, stay grounded, stay strong, and remember, true strength often lies beneath the surface.